Hello everybody, I'm going to be doing a quick demo of how to set up the Edgertronic camera. So hopefully by this time you will have received a Pelican case that looks like this, tripod that looks like this. This is what we're going to use to set up the Edgertronic camera. When you open up the box, you should see this in it. Importantly, you have the camera there, lens, micro USB. Looks like our trigger is down there, and then the power cord. We're going to start by taking out the camera. It's important when you take it out not to grab it by the lens, but to grab it on the sides so that you don't hurt the camera. We're going to take that out. And before we start working with the camera, we're going to take out another important piece. We're going to take out this guy. Basically what this does is it's able to connect the camera to the tripod. You can see on it, it has like two little kind of screw things, one on the top that you can push up and down, and another one that's actually a screw. These hook into the bottom here, where the screw part of it will go right in that groove, and kind of the more pushy part will go right up here. So we're going to do that real quick. It's better to set it down usually if you can. Then there's this little kind of handle on the back that you can use to twist it in. It's good to start with this way before we have cords and everything running around and getting in the way. Okay, so we have that on. It's firm. I can't twist it anymore. That's good. Next, what we're going to do is actually put the lens on. So first, we're going to take this lens cap off. And whenever you're ever working with the lens on the Edgertronic, you'll notice this blue little latch right here. You want to make sure to press that down before taking the lens cap off. That just helps, keep it in good shape and make sure that nothing on the camera or the lens gets damaged. So push that down. Lens comes off, should look something like that. Put this back in the box. I'm going to pull the lens out of the container. Once again, careful to make sure to grab it on the side, not on the back. On the lens, you'll have two pieces to it. One on the back, it's kind of this plastic that's actually what plugs into the camera. And then on the front, your actual lens cap, and that's what's going to face out. So we'll put it back on the camera first. Just pop that off, pretty simple. Stick it back in the case. Put it on. Once again, make sure to press the lever down. And you can kind of feel for it just a little bit. Just going to twist it around until you can finally kind of feel it fit in there. You may have to play with it just a little bit. Okay, so it's fit. I'm going to lift the lever, and then now I can just twist the lens. Twist the lens in there until it gets us a nice, good fit. Good, it fits well. We have that. Now I'm going to take the lens cap off by pressing these two parts in. Lens cap comes off. Now we're done with the lens. Okay, next thing that we're going to do is to get out the mini router, and this is what we're going to use to be able to connect a laptop or an iPad or a phone or something else and actually talk back and forth with the camera. It's really important to have this. So I'm going to go ahead and unravel this. This should already be hooked up for you, but just in case it's not, this basically has two inputs, one of it being a USB and the other one being an Ethernet. It's important that the Ethernet goes into this LAN port here on the back, not the WAN. It should go in the LAN with an L. That's important so it puts out a good signal. And then how we're going to actually install this on the back of the camera. Basically, we want to install the USB first into one of the ports. This basically just gives the mini router power. And then secondly, we want to plug in the Ethernet cable. Pretty simple. There's only one port for Ethernet. Plug that in, and we're in business. Okay, at this point, I usually go ahead and set up the tripod and put it on there. The time that you put it on the tripod really doesn't matter, I don't think, just as long as you have the bottom on the camera, which we already did. So go ahead and get that out, get it all hooked in so that we're ready to roll. Again, no magic with the tripod, it's just pretty simple. Go ahead and stick this guy on here. Lock that, make sure we're secure. Okay, perfect. Have the mini router on top. Now the only things that we have left is the actual power for the camera and the trigger. So I'm gonna pull out the trigger real quick from the case. It's this really long cord that looks kind of like it has a remote on the end. You'll wanna go ahead and unravel that. Perfect. Once we have it unraveled, it should look something like this. You'll notice there's a button on it. This is basically what we press to tell the video to stop. So you'll want to hit this probably for a pitcher whenever the ball hits the catcher's mitt, because the video always records what happened before, so you always want to press that after. So that one has a little button on the back. It just has a typical headphone jack, basically. You might recognize it as something like this. And then it plugs into the camera on the bottom. There's like two little grooves right here. It goes on the bottom one. So you plug that in there. Now your trigger is set up. And the last thing that you want to do is actually connect the power to the camera. So we'll pull the power block out of the box. Looks just like a laptop charger. Get this, you'll plug it into your power source after you unravel it. There's one on the wall right here. Plug it into the power source. And then after you've done that, you can plug this in actually into the camera. It's this bigger one at the bottom. It's important that you make sure not to plug it in until you have all of this other stuff set up, else the camera might not function quite properly, and then you have to take time to do it again. So make sure you have all of this set up and then plug it in. Once you're done this, you can just plug it in the camera. Once you do, you can hear kind of some whirring in the camera. It's booting up. Once you've done that, you probably have to wait for, I don't know, 30 seconds to a minute longer than you would think for the actual router to start going. Basically, this light should become on the camera, it should come like a blue or a little bit of a yellow color, and then that tells you that you're good to go ahead and connect your laptop or iPad or whatever you're doing to the camera and start capturing film. And I'll go over how to do that here in step 2.